Welcome to the Wrexham Coffee Matchup. I'm Dave.
And I'm Courtney. Each week, we'll take a few minutes to catch up on the latest news from Wrexham. From matchups to transfers, on and off the pitch, we'll share our takes on it all.
So grab a coffee and join us.
Hey Dave, welcome back.
Welcome back. It's a very busy news day here.
Very busy. It seems like a not very busy well, it wasn't objectively a very busy match week because we only had one, but there's lots to talk about of things that happened off the pitch.
Off the pitch up to the last 20 minutes ago, when we were filming, we started filming just after the 7 p.m. transfer window closed on February 2nd. Now, that doesn't mean that we've gotten all the news that we're going to get, as we found out from the summer, because we got the Kabore news a couple hours after the transfer window closed. So there might still be some more, but we have plenty to talk about, especially if we look at the whole roster of outgoing players that got confirmed over the last couple days up until this afternoon.
Yeah.
So the first that we got confirmation is that Andy Cannon has been loaned out to Burton Albion. So Andy Cannon, I know this will come up many times today, is one of our back-to-back-to-back winners. So there were 10 players who were part of that back-to-back-to-back squad who competed at the national level, League 2 and League 1 in league matches. So he made 88 appearances with their team, scored 12 goals. And Andy Cannon had pointed out that, so he injured himself last February with his ACL injury. And that really kind of took him out of the picture for Wrexham. And there was hope that he was going to be able to come back, but then the squad has just changed so much in that last year. So it's good to see that he actually made his debut over the weekend. And
I didn't see that.
Yes, so he got on in substitution, and so he is now joined fellow Wrexham players Seb Revan, James Jones, and George Evans, who are all part of the first team over at Burton Albion. So it's kind of an exciting place. It seems to be that they keep their eyes on us as a way to wonder why. But it's good to see that he's moved on. And then the other one that we heard before the weekend that was not a surprise because we've been talking about it for a while, but it was a surprise how quickly it happened, was that Conor Coady has moved over to Charlton Athletic on loan for the rest of the season. In the time that Conor has been with Wrexham, he only made 6 appearances and hadn't been seen in a league match since September, which was the QPR match where he unfortunately scored an own goal for QPR. So we had talked about in the past how that hadn't really fit into our system as the team recruitments came in and as we started to form together. But he did make his debut in the starting lineup last Saturday against Leicester City, and he was playing as a midfielder, not a defender, which was interesting to see in the lineup. But it was good to see him sort of get playing time. I was watching the interviews with him, and I was quickly reminded he has this charisma and charm and knowledge about the game. And it's exciting to watch him be excited about playing. It's just unfortunate that it just didn't really gel with our lineups. Mm-hmm. So that was the second one that we got the news of. And then we talked last week how Paul Mullin had returned back to Wrexham after his Wigan loan was cancelled, and he was loaned out to Bradford City for the remainder of the season. So Bradford City is in League 1.
And he also played over the weekend. So they're currently sitting 5th in League 1, and they're aiming for promotion. He made his debut as a substitute on Saturday, and I guess he quickly made an impression, along with quickly getting a yellow card. But he came firing out of the gate. So those were sort of the ones that we heard about prior to today. And then, of course, in the last couple of hours, we've received... you're sighing already. I am. Well, there's two.
There's
two that I'm sighing about. One is... Well, actually, let's say neither was totally unexpected. One was the confirmation that Jacob Mendy will permanently transfer to Peterborough United.
Right.
That was, he hasn't been on the Wrexham squad for a bit of time. But I don't know. He has always held a special little place in my heart. So I feel like he never, I mean, he played amazing for us. He did amazing things for us in that time that he was with us. He's another one of the back-to-back-to-back players. But he was so hampered by injuries.
Yeah.
Throughout his time. I think almost the entire of the League One season, I think he was out with an injury. So it's just unfortunate that he never really got to live up to the potential that I think he had for Wrexham. Yeah. But I think he was universally loved by the fans. At least by both of us for sure, and just in the fact that he made a positive impact. He got to play in the Africa's Cup for his team. He survived that plane incident where the team almost died in that plane incident. Remember when they lost oxygen after takeoff and the entire team passed out? He was he was in that squad. And he had been on loan to Peterborough United at the beginning of the season and then returned to Wrexham with an injury. So it's good to see that his injury's been managed and that they've done a permanent signing. So I think that looks great for him. So then we can collectively just both take the big inhale and exhale.
with a little tear for Elliot Lee.
Elliot Lee. So he just confirmed that he's moving to Doncaster Rovers, which is they were just promoted from League 2 to League 1 at the end of last season, and they're looking to stay out of the relegation zone. So they're looking for a little bit of fire.
22nd in the table, yeah.
So I think if you need fire on a team, Elliot Lee is a good person to go to. I mean,
100%. I mean, and it's interesting, right? The two players that have gone to a League One team, Paul Mullin, in a team they're both chasing something, right? They're hoping to be promoted into the championship, and then with Elliot Lee, clearly they're hoping to stay in League One at the end of the season, and I think it's very noteworthy that they're bringing in some Red Dragons to breathe a bit of fire into the teams.
Right. And we've known for the better part of January that Elliot was looking to go out to find another team. I think the question was just which team was the right fit for him. I did get a chance right before we started filming. I watched his Doncaster Rovers welcome video that just came out on YouTube. And he mentioned more than once that he was aware that he had fallen out of favor at Wrexham, sort of around the time that his knee injury required him to go into knee surgery. And he was just really looking for the right environment to get back playing so he can make an impact. And so I just can't wait to see what he does. I mean, I'm hoping that Paul Mullin, that Elliot Lee, that Jacob Mendy, that they all follow the Jack Marriott course. Jack Marriott, since he's moved to Reading, has now scored 12 goals for them this season. Wow. And he's just doing incredibly well and just in his element. And we want to see that for all of these guys as well, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll come back to Elliot Lee a little bit later. Because I do have some little fun facts that we always like to share our fun facts. But there's one name that we expected or were thinking we were going to hear today, and we haven't heard anything about yet. So we still might. Did you want to say who that player is? Yes.
Conor Coady. No, Conor Coady. Sorry, we've been ill in this household for a whole week. My brain is a pile of mashed potatoes. Ryan Hardie.
Ryan Hardie, yes. So he was our first signing at the beginning of the championship season. And over the course of the first into January, he has actually only made 6 appearances on the team and only totaled 179 minutes. Yeah.
Just like Conor Coady, 6 appearances.
Right.
That was what I was thinking.
Yeah, and we talked about early on that sort of from the beginning of the signing period until the end of the signing window in the summer, I think that the strategy for signings and the team shape just changed.
It shifted, yeah.
It shifted, and what Ryan Hardie was expected to bring no longer fit into the picture of what looking at. And so, I mean, there's a lot of talk of different teams that are looking for him and his skill set. And, you know, we hope that if he does get a loan or a sale, that it happens and that he does very well. Because otherwise, if he's not and he stays with the team, I don't really see him playing for the rest of the season. Especially if we're bringing in additional strikers, which we have a confirmation of one, such as. So we'll come to that in a second because I have to scroll on my notes page. Such as just a few minutes ago, we just got the last minute word that Davis Keillor-Dunn, or as they're calling him online, DKD, which I guess that's his acronym, is a striker that from Barnsley, which is in League One. So interestingly, he was just confirmed coming back. So he originally signed for Wrexham back in January of 2020. And in that half of the season that he was with the team, he made 6 appearances and scored 1 goal. And then that was, of course, pre-takeover. So then the team shifted and he's gone through his different trajectory. And so now he's making his return back to the Racecourse.
6 years later to a very, very different team.
A very different team. And so this is, you know, bringing with him some youth and energy. Now, we're going to have to learn. You and I are the first to admit we know very, very little about these new players that we're seeing and haven't had time. But I think as we get to watch them and we watch their interviews and we kind of learn more about them, then we can see how it all fits together with the squad. And so we can start to get excited about that. The other signing that we had confirmed yesterday is that Zak Vyner, who is a defender from Bristol City, he spent his entire career since signing at Bristol City, I think when he was 15, making over 264 appearances with the team, including he's made over 250 championship appearances. So he comes with a very, very solid championship pedigree. And I think that getting him into the squad was really the adding of the extra depth of defense that Parky was looking for, and that really enabled them to allow Conor Coady to move on, sort of like a direct replacement for him. Now, we don't know how that'll shift in the back lineup because we have a lot of depth in that area, but it'll be interesting to see. But the other thing is, and just on the cheeky aside, there's been a lot of comments about his big smile and his freckles, his fresh freckle face. So you're gonna have to go look at some pictures after we're done.
I'm like, I also have quite a lot of freckles, so now I'm covering them.
No, but they're making that up.
Freckles are wonderful.
That's a positive trait that they're making. His big smile and his freckles. Yes. Yeah, and like I said, there's chance that there might be 1 or 2 more in the door today. There's a chance that we might see Ryan Hardie head out. Now you got me on the Conor Coady.
Sorry. My fault.
So yeah, it's a lot to absorb, and we'll see
but relatively quiet. I mean, certainly compared to the summer. So
I think it did reinforce what Parky was saying, is that he has a really deep, good squad, and he wants to focus on strengthening that. I mean, because as we mentioned, we're currently sitting in 6th place in the championship. We're like right at the edge of playoff contention, and yes, we have 16 more matches to go with 30 already played, but I think we're in really good position in the way we've been playing. I mean, we could talk about the Saturday's match against Sheffield Wednesday. I think we show that we're consistently on the upswing. We're not we didn't peak,
and we had 2 players that really made it known that they wanted to move on, right? James McLean wanted to be able to go back home, right? And then Elliot Lee made it known that he wanted to be loaned out to be able to find a place to play. So, you know, when you know that you're going to have 2 people down, you need to replace that somehow. So we knew that there would be some movement, but overall I would say it's about as quiet as we expected it would be so far.
Right, and we are not surprised by any of the names we saw leaving. It's just that twinge of sadness, you know, because we've been following the team since the National League, and we really kind of grew up with these players, and to see them moving on, it's the cycle of football, and
it's bittersweet.
It is bittersweet, but all positive at this moment. So.
So do you want to shift?
The good thing is we can continue to follow them and see how they're continuing to do. But yeah, shall we talk about this week's match?
Yes. So go ahead. Yes, you want to start?
Sheffield Wednesday. We ended up winning with 1 goal. It was a very interesting match. I mean, you said to me at the end of the first half, the score does not reflect the play.
Right.
And it's totally true. It's funny because we had several shots. We had several attempts throughout the first half. And I found it kind of funny that the one that goes in was the one that Sam Smith's big toe got to, right? He laid all the way out and was able to reach it into the goal. But I think something that I really noticed, Sheffield very clearly deep at the bottom of the table, not an unfamiliar situation to the history of Wrexham of, being relegated. And the word that just kept coming up in my mind was grit. Mm-hmm. They really played with such grit. Right. And I mean, just like we've said for all of the, departing Wrexham players, we wish them nothing but the best. Obviously, it's a game. You want to win. You want to get points so that you can be promoted. At the same time, I think that everyone at that is a Wrexham fan can commiserate and wants to see the best for Sheffield Wednesday as well.
Right, and if you remember, this is the team that Rob Mack had made the jersey donation to the Sheffield Wednesday Supporters Trust back when they went into administration. So remember, they had 2 points deductions early on in the season. They were frozen from participating in the summer transfer window. So their squad has gone through a lot of changes. So they lost some players. More players were going out in January. And so what I was hearing is that we saw their solid defense in the first half. They really, really worked on that defense. And then they just didn't have the depth of players left on the bench in the second half to refresh it, right? Mm-hmm. And so by the 60th minute of each of the matches recently, they've just been worn down. And that's when we were able to kind of take what our good play in the first half was and then transform it to a little bit of a higher level and really kind of keep it going so that we can put the game away. Now, it doesn't mean that we went and scored 4 goals against them because they still were fighting back and determined. But I think we did outplay them. Yeah. And the score, like we say, the score doesn't always reflect sort of the quality of the match, but it was a solid win from our perspective. Yeah. Yeah. I will have to say, I would say that the play of the match, oftentimes it's the magic goal that turns things around. And for me, the play of the match was a defensive move. And that was the one chance that Sheffield Wednesday had of realistically getting a goal and drawing even. Kind of shoots it a little bit past Arthur, and Matty James was standing on the goal line in the goal, right there to deflect it and kick it out and prevent them from scoring. And just him being in that right spot at the right time, I think that had they drawn, I don't know that we would have gotten another opportunity to score in this match.
That's true.
Just because of the way it was fought. So I think he's the one who saved it for us. Now, either way, even a draw would have been fine in the big picture. But to have that victory and to kind of keep us up in that 6th position in the table right now it's a good place to be in, right?
Yeah. Which I discovered, as I had said in our last episode, I had read somewhere that it was the highest we'd been in 50 years, and it's not. Someone pointed out that Wrexham has been as high as 2nd in the championship.
In 1979, yes. So
which is
nearly
50 years. We've got a little ways to go, but we're almost there.
Almost there. But they did point out at the end of the match that this was our 4th straight win on the road. And that is the longest streak in the championship so far this season.
Championship, yeah.
Of away victories. So, we have a lot to be proud of and a lot to be excited for. So
we do. We really do.
Yeah. So before we talk about what's next, can we go back?
You told me you have some trivia tidbits.
I have some trivia tidbits. So
we've been prepping for Elliot Lee's departure for a couple weeks now, and we were
emotionally. I've been preparing for months.
Well, and I've also been doing my little stats deep dives. So Elliot Lee spent 3.5 years with Wrexham. So he went on our second season after the takeover in the National League. So he is one of the 10 back-to-back promotion winners. He hasn't had any championship minutes for Wrexham this season. So he only played in National League, League One, and League Two, and some cup matches. Right. So overall, he made 150 appearances.
Okay.
And can you put a ballpark as to how many goals he scored for Wrexham in the 3.5 years that he was with us? Now, I can give you a reference point. I'll give you a reference point. So
I was going to just throw out a number, but without any of that. But okay.
Oh, do you want the reference point? Do you want the reference point?
No, let me just say what was in my brain, because my brain said 42, but that's probably way too high.
40.
Look at that.
So he is the third highest scorer since the takeover.
Okay.
So first, obviously, was Paul Mullin with 105 goals in 165 matches.
Ollie Palmer, because he has more time than Stephen Fletcher.
So Ollie Palmer made also 150 appearances.
Okay.
And he scored 44 goals.
Okay.
In that time.
Within 4 goals of each other.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Now, if you remember, in the 24-25 season, our League One season, Elliot Lee was the leading goal scorer in all competitions, league and cup competitions. So he scored 9 goals last season in all competitions.
Okay.
But in league competitions, he tied with 2 other players for the most goals in league competitions last season, with 8 goals each. Do you have any guess?
I think I just said one of the names.
Go for it.
Fletch.
Yes.
Stephen Fletcher. When did Mullin and Palmer leave?
Mullin had very limited time. They left in January. They last played in January.
All right. 8 goals. Elliot Lee.
Stephen
Fletcher. My mind is a blank.
Ollie Rathbone.
Ollie, of course. Put that in your Ollie watch.
put that obviously in our Ollie watch. And then my last little trivia point. So as I mentioned, there were 10 players who played league moments in National League, League One, and League Two, and got back-to-back promotions. So far, as of now, today in this season, how many of those players are still playing for Wrexham and have championship moments?
I mean, I want to say at the beginning of the season, we were at 4, and it was Andy Cannon, James McLean, Elliot Lee, and one other person. So I'm going to guess 1. Okay, and then the name.
Okay. So we have 2 players who have been on the squad who played National League all the way up. And that is Max Cleworth.
Obviously.
And Ryan Barnett joined in January of our National League promotion season. So he has minutes as well, too. So we have 2 players that, should we continue this path, our path of hope and dreams, and actually got a 4th promotion, they would be the only 2 players that would have back-to-back.
Wow. Well, Max has,
Oh, he's got such the career.
He's going places. Yeah, he does.
Absolutely.
He does.
Absolutely.
Okay, you know what I didn't do for not having prepped at all? I did not.
You did really well. You did really well. and I didn't even do the minutes played.
Thanks, I appreciate that. But you have a better brain for that, so that's that was a good question for you.
Yes, yeah. Okay, do you want to tell us what's next coming up?
I would love to, but I do not know. So I'm going to send that back to you. I know that we play over the weekend.
Okay, so coming up on Saturday, February 7th, we're playing at home against Millwall. So Millwall is currently 5th in the table, and they are just 3 points ahead of us. So this is a really key match. We beat them 2-0 back in August when we played them at their home. They recently drew against
so long ago.
And they drew last weekend at Sheffield United. But should we win on Saturday, we will be ahead of them in goal differential, because our goal differential is quite higher than theirs is. So this victory, even by 1 goal, would put us up in 5th place. And so it's something to look forward to. But remember, the table's still pretty packed there in the middle. And we only have 1 match this week, and then we have our week break. Then we have
2 back-to-back games against Ipswich.
Well, in between, they rescheduled the Bristol City match that had been
that's
delayed.
right.
So we have 5 matches in 16 days on the period from February 13th to February 28th.
Brilliant.
So
we're all going to be exhausted.
We're just going to be exhausted from watching and going
collectively.
So it's a really busy time ahead, and sort of like, let's see what shakes out if we get any more news this week, and we'll see if one of the 2 new players actually makes their debut on the weekend. I look forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for joining us this week. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
You can also email us at wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. All one word, that's wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at wxmcoffeematchup.
From the cop to your coffee cup, that's all for today's Wrexham Coffee Matchup. Keep it brewing, keep it red, and as always, up the town.